Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at BTC. We've had a little bit of a move up and we're going to be discussing what we think this means, whether this is going to actually reject from these areas and continue lower, or whether this could be the start of a bigger move to the upside. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. So just want to talk about a couple of things before we get into this micro account to the upside. We were looking for this direct breakdown here, but we actually came and took this high out here. So that has invalidated that. So I'm going to get rid of that. So we were talking about that potential of having a five-wave move to the upside here, looking for a flat. We've actually come up higher than the target area we were looking for, which was between this 27,796 to this 28,337 area. So we've actually come up higher than that. So what I've done is I've actually also pulled this box over here. This is another way we can look at this move as an inverse of this A wave to the upside here. And we did come up towards this 28,554 area. So this could actually be a completed move to the upside here, though the subwaves would be indicating that we could look to push up higher. So with this said and done, basically what I'm looking for here is to see for more confirmation whether the C wave is actually completed to the upside here, or whether we actually have an additional fourth and a fifth. Should we maintain this zone of this 27,890, I would be looking for that potential of an additional fifth wave here. What I'd want to see here is basically a three-wave move to the downside, something like this, looking to potentially come back towards a zone of this 28,056 area. That would be quite an interesting zone in my opinion. Alternatively, if we do come back down to this 50%, that would be this 27,890. So what we'd be looking for is that potential of an additional leg to the upside here, though we have met the requirement according to the fib areas. So this would basically be looking at this move as potentially either an A wave to the upside or a fourth wave. So let's go over these two different options. So within this structure, basically what we're looking out for is looking for the possibility that we have a bigger move here where either we are looking for this as a fourth wave, which in this case would be like this. We'd be looking for this yellow fourth wave still. Invalidation of this only comes by moving back above this high of, sorry, this low of this 29,973. So for as long as we actually remain here, we can look for this possibility that we have a fourth correction here. The highest I'd really want to see this come is this 28,780, which would tie in with it, that actually having that additional move to the downside and a move back to the upside here. We can break this area, for instance, but I don't want to see this consolidating above here. Otherwise, it potentially means that we are not following the right count here, and this is actually completed further back here. So we're going to go over that as well. What I was looking for was that potential of a diagonal here. I haven't quite ruled this out yet, but I would be looking at this slightly different. If this is the case, what we could have had is actually something like this, where we come into this low rather here as a diagonal, but it's not very clean. I don't like it. So, potentially this other option is more clean, and that's why I'm following that now. So now what we're looking for is to see whether we actually get a five-wave move to the downside of these highs. Like I said, potentially we could find support again towards some of these highs and look to push up one more time towards this 28,780. If we start to break substantially above this, this could then actually indicate that either we're coming into this top channel line and we're going to look for a rejection again, where this becomes something like this as a bigger flat correction, as a B wave possibly, and then we could look for continuation down, or alternatively, we have completed here, and what we then have is something like this as a five-wave move. We come back down for B wave, get another five-wave move up, and then we could have a three-wave structure here, which could be looking for that B wave potential. But until it actually proves otherwise, I'm still going to be looking for that possibility of an additional drop here for a fifth. So given the current structure here off of this high, what we'd be looking for is this 26,787 to this 26,251. This would actually be looking for a retest of this channel line again and basically bring us back down here. In which case, from there, we could be looking possibly for a additional ABC to the upside and continuation to the downside, or alternatively, from further back here, this becomes the C wave of a bigger flat correction, where this is A, this is B, this is C. So we're going to go over that at the end of all these. Basically, What we're looking for is confirmation that we've completed this move to the downside here, and then we'll be watching that reaction to the upside. Three-wave structures up would indicate that we have further rejection. If we start to form five-wave structures to the upside, something like this, coming back into these highs with a bigger five-wave structure, it would indicate to me that, potentially we are looking for that breakout to occur to the upside. So this is going to be key as to what happens next. I am going to be watching this zone very closely, this 28,780. If we do actually face a rejection off this, this is going to be the zone we're looking for to the downside. The alternative to this is that, potentially we look at this rather in this way here, where this whole move from the upside, from the top end here, has been a expanding diagonal, where this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In this case, what we'd then be looking for is the possibility that we are either completed this move as a ABC to the upside, or like I said, we could potentially have a little bit more to come up here with an additional fourth and a fifth. But upon completion, if this move breaks down and takes this low, we have to just be careful of the fact that it could actually be a bigger structure here. Though I'd want to see, confirmation of this. So either this could then become a bigger, this is an A wave, we have a B wave here, and then we get a C wave to the downside, in which case we'd be looking potentially to target out this 25,030 area. Or alternatively, if this move to the upside is not completed and it's a bigger corrective structure, what we could have is we could find support again above this 27,260 level. So the 50% here would be quite an interesting one for me. Potentially coming back into these highs. What I'd want to see is if we do get a three-wave structure down here, potentially we could have this as a W wave, this is an X, and then this is a Y wave, which could mean that we could see a push up to this 29,000, but after a retracement down here. So that's what we're going to be having a look at. And then really, for as long as we stay below this 30,091, we need to just be looking out for that potential of further extension to the downside here, where this potentially moves this wave 2 or this B wave here, and then we could see that breakdown from there. Obviously, if we do move up into this channel, it would change that 1-to-1 slightly. I'm going to go into this Y 1-to-1. That would be 25,447. What I've been saying for a long time is there is this zone over here, this 25,200, which I wouldn't be surprised if we get a retest of. If we do come back down here, I'll be watching these highs to see if we can find support above this level. If not, then I'll be looking towards this lower trend line to see if there is any support that's going to be coming in there. What we need to be careful of is a bigger five-wave move here. Obviously, we could then argue if we do look to reject down here, and we have a direct sell-off towards this 23,000 zone. What this could indicate then is that we actually have a bigger five-wave structure to the downside. So this wouldn't really fit into that flat correction idea unless we were getting a really extended C wave. But we'd have to be careful with this. If we form something like this as a bigger move down, we'd have to watch that retracement to the upside again, see if we find support in this, resistance in this area here, and see if we have that, continuation down in a bigger way. So this is what we need to be just aware of here. If we do continue to fail to break above these highs of the zone of this 30,000, it becomes more likely that we're going to actually see this continuation to the downside play out. So this is, like I said, there is potential for a bit more of a push to the upside here. I'd want to see a fourth and a fifth, something more substantial, in line with something this size. Seeing a bit more of a bigger structure like this, for instance, and then having that fifth wave, if that is the count. But at the moment, all we have is three-wave structure up, so we need to be careful. We need to wait for that confirmation of that fourth and that fifth wave to the upside. So now I've also plotted out this because of where we have come down to in the flat when we were looking at that flat rejection, where basically we were saying we could have something like this as an A, a B, and a C. We have actually come down into the zone that this could potentially be completed, though the internals are suggesting we could see lower prices come in here. Some of the key targets that we talked about here was between this 26,061 to this 25,355, And then we've also got this 2.618 of this A wave down here at this zone of this 25,747 area. So this is a typical support zone here. We have the 0.236 up here at this 26K. We have the 0.382 here at this 24,628, and this 23,570 is that 50%. So this would be a typical flat target zone. So if it does break down past these levels, I'll be watching these levels in particular to see if we get some support come in if this is a flat. But if we do start to break down this low, it becomes more likely at that point that actually we have this as an a B, and a C to the downside. In which case, we're going to be potentially looking for lower target zones. Okay, so now if this is actually a completed move here, what should we be looking out for is that we could actually see potential that we could move to the upside here. So what would that look like? That would look something like this, where actually this now then becomes an A wave, and we'd be still looking for that same idea. The internals are suggesting that if this is going to be a 5-wave structure, we're going to find another fourth wave higher up here, and that fifth wave up towards that 28,938 to this 28,728 area. If we then find support back above this zone of this 27,317, what we could be setting up for is either this pattern as an A, a B, and a C. So that would tie into that idea that basically this move is completed. We have this as a B wave, and then we look for continuation to the downside. Or alternatively, if this does move high enough towards this 30,390, what we could then see is that potential for continuation here to the upside, where this is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. If we did have a 5-wave structure to the upside like this, I would then be looking for that potential of a retracement, finding support back above some of these highs again, and then looking for that continuation again to the upside. This would then either put us into a bigger ABC pattern, or potentially this could even be a bigger 5-wave structure as it's starting a bigger third wave here, in which case, obviously it would depend how high we come here, but we could potentially look to, take these highs again, which would invalidate that possibility of, continuation to the downside off of this high. It doesn't mean that it completely invalidates it, but what it means is that we cannot extend further down from this current structure we have. And then we'd have to just see exactly how the waves play out from that point. But yeah, so this is what I'm tracking for in case I'm wrong. If we do find support here, we could be looking for this rather as a zigzag pattern, or alternatively, if we move up past 30,390, a bigger 5-wave move, in which case that could potentially look to take us up towards the zone here. Obviously, this is provided that there is no extension. This could then mean that we could see a move back up towards this 31,103 to this 30,665 area. So this is what we need to be aware of to the upside as a possibility. But we need to prove this by basically completing this 5-wave move and then finding support again above these lows. If we fail to do that, what we could then just have is, like I said, a flat correction here, and then we come back down one more time, take out these lows, and then look to potentially move up from that point. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both BYBIT and Primex BT down below. Both great exchanges we use on a regular basis. Check them out if you don't have one. Like I said, using the affiliate link helps support the channel. We do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.